If you are looking to grow your business, you need to be creating repeatable systems. I know that can sound a little bit intimidating, but at its most basic, a system is just the process that you use in your business to do a particular task. And an SOP, or a standard operating procedure, is the written documentation of that step-by-step process. It's done in a way that's easy to follow, very clearly laid out, so that the new owner of a task can go through that SOP, follow along step by step, and do the task in the same way and get the same results as the previous owner of the task. In today's video, we're going to dive into why building systems is so incredibly important to the future success of your business, as well as talk about the most common objections I hear from entrepreneurs when we talk about building systems in their businesses. I'm Kari, and I'm a business operations specialist. I help 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs build simple, sustainable businesses by establishing a solid operational foundation. One of my favorite things to talk about is systems and the impact that it can play on businesses. And if you're looking to grow and scale your business, please hit subscribe below so you can follow along for more tips and tricks as well. Systems are incredibly important in your business for a multitude of reasons, including repeatability, meaning that no matter who does the task, it's done in the same way every time. This is actually really important because as a task is being developed, as a process is being done over and over again, it gives you a chance to really be able to optimize and make sure it's being done in the most efficient way and in a way where all of the checkboxes are being checked off and everything is being done as fully as it can be. Systems are also really important for reliability, meaning that no matter who does the task, the same results are being achieved. This is really important if you're doing work for a service-based business where you are completing a task for clients over and over again. So if you have person A completing the task or person B completing the task, the client is going to get the same results and there's going to be a lot of consistency across your business. The creation of systems also really helps with efficiency. It helps you to do the tasks faster. It may seem a little counterintuitive if you're going back and referencing a document to show you how to do something, but it's amazing how much more quickly you're able to do something when you don't have to try to remember all of the different pieces to it because it's laid out really clearly in front of you. It also means you don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel, meaning you get halfway through a process and then kind of forget exactly how you did it the last time. Having an SOP in front of you that you can follow means that you can go back to the work that you've done before and you don't have to recreate work that has already been completed. The creation of systems also really helps with the creativity that we're able to use in our businesses. It's amazing how much mental space is taken up with how-tos and checklists and trying to remember all the things that need to be done in a particular process. And once that is taken away and there is documents that can be referenced, it's amazing how much more of your mind can then go to creative pursuits. This could be actual creative work such as graphics or writing copy or things like that, or it could be in the creation of new products and new services that you're able to offer your clients and customers and serve them in an even better way. Systems also enable us to build businesses that are much more stable. So in times of busyness or an intense amount of stress, you have systems that you can fall back on to be able to guide you through the processes that need to keep happening, even though there's craziness going on in the world around you. In those times of stress and busyness, it allows you as the CEO to be able to step out of some of the tasks that you were doing and to be able to really easily hand those off to other people on your team. It might be that in those seasons too, if you get really, really busy all of a sudden and your business starts to grow, which is great, you might need to start adding on team members quickly that you weren't expecting to. And having a bank of SOPs that are already in place enables you to be able to bring people on board seamlessly and to be able to get them up to speed in the job that you need them to be able to do, which is only going to benefit you going forward. And through these times of chaos, by having these systems in place and being able to remove yourself from some tasks and bring on new team members, it also enables you to continue to serve your clients and customers at the highest possible level. For visionary entrepreneurs or those that work in creative fields, they can sometimes feel like creating systems can be a little bit restrictive, that somehow it keeps them from being able to dream big dreams that they have and set the big goals that they have. But it's actually having those systems in place at the core parts of their business that enables them to achieve those big dreams and goals that they have for their business. When I talk to entrepreneurs about systems, one of the biggest objections that I get all the time is, how am I supposed to start building all of these systems from scratch? And the truth is, you don't have to. You're already using all of these processes in your business. No matter what kind of business you run, there are already tasks and processes that you follow every day to ensure that you're delivering what it is that your business delivers. So whether this is in terms of your marketing, your sales, how you fulfill your client work, how you onboard team members, all of those processes already are in place, and you just need to be able to start documenting them. One of the most dangerous things in businesses is when one person has all of the information on how to do a task in their head and nobody else has access to it. That puts your business in a very volatile situation because if that one person ends up not being able to show up for work the next day, you've lost all of that collective knowledge that everyone should have had access to. By documenting the SOPs and having a step-by-step reference, you ensure that you have some continuity in your business so someone else could step in and take over that task at the last minute if they really needed to. The second most common objection that I hear is, I'm not a systems person. And I totally understand where these entrepreneurs are coming from because most of them are visionaries. They have big dreams and big goals and they're really good at big ideas and maybe not so great at the details. And although these people will probably never become the type of people who love to alphabetize their spice racks, they absolutely can become people who decide that they're going to use systems and use this as a tool to be able to grow and scale their businesses. The ability to build systems in your business really isn't a personality trait. If you have anyone in your team, you've likely already gone through the process of teaching them how to do certain things in a certain way in your business. And that's exactly what we're talking about here in systems, just doing it in a way that is captured so other people can have access to it as well. Another objection that I hear commonly is, it's too complicated, I don't have enough time. And I would encourage you that in this, like so many other parts of your business, simple really is better. The more complicated it is, the less people are likely to use it. The more complicated it is, the more likely it is to break. And it is amazing how much you can accomplish just by keeping things really simple. So in this particular way, a lot of entrepreneurs that I know who run very, very successful businesses run this entire part of their business just using Google Docs and Google Sheets. It doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to be done and organized in a way where the person who needs to find it can actually find it. When it comes to the time objection, I would actually say, do you have time not to do this? I know it seems like a big investment of time up front, but the dividends that it pays off in the future is huge. I know that this can feel like a really complicated thing because when you're really busy, it feels like, how do you make time to be able to create systems? But you need to be able to hire team members and you need those systems to be able to hire the team members. It's kind of a chicken and egg scenario. But I will say that it's important to be able to devote the time to building systems now before it's an emergency and before you really need it. And imagine how great it would be to have those team members come on, to be easily onboarded because you have a process for that, to be brought up to speed because there's SOPs on all the tasks that need to be completed, and it doesn't take a ton of your time while you are really crazy busy. It enables you to be able to grow and scale in a way that just isn't possible without those systems in place. Especially when working with creative entrepreneurs, another objection I hear frequently is that systems are too rigid and it steals creativity. What actually happens in a lot of these businesses, though, when people like to fly by the seat of their pants and kind of do whatever moves them at that particular time, is the business actually starts to become incredibly chaotic. And without some kind of frameworks in place to follow, it can be really complicated for team members to be able to kind of keep up with the owner of the business. That doesn't mean that systems need to take over every aspect of your business. And in fact, for some creative tasks, it's actually very, very difficult to create a process that can outline it 100%. Let's say, for example, if you need a specific type of graphic created, you could provide the information for the person creating it in terms of the sizes that you need and the color specs and the brand fonts and all of those pieces, but you can't really give them a process for actually doing their creative work. And that's okay. But if you're able to create the system up until that point, it saves a whole bunch of time, gives you a whole bunch of repeatability, and saves you from having to have the same conversation with people over and over and over again. And it's really important to remember that a business that has no continuity and no repetition is incredibly difficult to grow and eventually to scale. The last most common objection that I hear is, systems won't work for my kind of business. And I would really encourage you that this is maybe not true. In any kind of business that you're running, there is always going to be processes that are done over and over again. Maybe it's the way that you pay your employees, the way that you onboard your clients, the way that you do your social media posting, the way that you send your weekly emails. There are always going to be things in your business that are done on a repeated basis. And once you have something that you're doing more than once, you absolutely should be creating a process for it so you don't have to go back to the drawing board and refigure it out every single time. I don't know about you in your business, but there's definitely tasks that I do that only come up once a month or so. And when I haven't been doing them on a regular basis, it's so easy to forget the intricate details of exactly what needs to get done. It could be that when pulling a report in a specific software, I need to make sure a certain box is checked off or something along those lines. And having something written down where I can just follow through instead of having to recreate everything each time saves an immense amount of time. I'd encourage you to really look through your business and look at those things that are done more than once and really start to build systems around those things. I think you'll find that the payoff for that is enormous. One of the most beautiful things about adopting a systems mindset in your own business is that it's contagious. When you start building systems and looking for ways to optimize and to find more efficiencies, your team members will really start to appreciate that they have those systems to work off of. And once they start working in that way and they see the ease and the benefit that comes from it, they will start looking for ways to do that in their own tasks as as well. And not only documenting them, but then optimizing them as well. And it's this beautiful cycle that happens that leads to a whole bunch of momentum building in your business. I hope you're starting to see why systems are so incredibly important if you're looking to grow and scale your business. And if you're ready to start documenting your SOPs, please check the description box below for a simple SOP checklist that will help to walk you through the process to make sure that you have SOPs that can be followed by your team members and get the results that you need every single time. And I would love to know what the next process is that you're going to document in your business. Please drop a comment below to let me know which one it is.